Now that more people than ever have access to the community tab on YouTube, because they've changed the number of followers you have to gain access to this, we need to make sure that we're leveraging this properly inside of our businesses. Now, the community tab is very much similar to a Facebook feed. So you're going to be able to post text, you're going to be able to post polls, you can post things like other videos, or you can even post photos. And this is a way to have a discussion with your community outside of your videos. So let me break down 7 things that you can be posting every single week to start that engagement and facilitate the conversation on your YouTube page to level up what you're doing and get more engagement, which helps your algorithm standing. My favorite way to get engagement on my community tab is through polls. Now, we are allowed to have several options, and you ask a question where people can then vote on the answer. If you want to expand upon that, you can actually invite them to explain their reasoning or to suggest other potential answers in the comments below. But your entire goal is to resonate with your audience and learn what they want to see more of, or what functions in their life, or what you can be implementing more to help them. So you're using this as a way to gauge your audience and see what you should be leaning into and what could actually help them to grow so that you can grow your channel in terms of helping them to grow and expand what they're doing. Polls are a very easy, low-level commitment that people can then easily do, which will then teach them and train them to start leaving comments on your videos, on your other community tab posts, and it's a very low barrier to entry. All they have to do is click on one answer and they're good to go. They don't even have to type anything if they don't want to. So I always make sure that I am putting out polls whenever possible, because this is a great way to engage with them without any effort on their part. Now, another top priority for me is posting about you might have missed videos. I am then using videos that I posted a month ago, 2 months ago, a year ago that are still relevant today. So my evergreen content that will actually help people out, and I am able to toggle it into one of these posts. It actually pulls the video right into it, so all they have to do is click and they can watch it right there. They don't even have to go through a link. And I am reminding them, this is really great content that you might have missed or you might have forgotten that could be helpful and relevant to you right now. Now, as somebody who has multiple channels and some of those channels overlap, I'm actually using it to build up both of my platforms. So I'm taking videos from the live stream action plan page and I'm posting them in the community tab of my main channel here, where I'm educating you on social media strategy. And that way I am pulling over that audience, I'm doing cross promotion, and for the people who are not following me over there, they still have access to and get to see these videos, even if it's not suggested to them by YouTube over on the side of their page. So this is a great way to get more eyes on older content or content on a connected page that is not the same page where the followers might not have translated over. This is also incredibly helpful if you have other videos where you participated on other people's channels that you can bring in. So it doesn't live on your channel, but if you did a really great interview and you want to show it off, this is the place to do it. So you can bring those you might have missed videos into the conversation to remind people to check out your older content. And in the same vein of that, you can actually shout out other people's content. So if you have a content creator you love working with, or you've collaborated with in the past, or just someone you really admire that you think your followers should know about, and they're giving really good content that is relevant to what you're discussing, this is a great way to shout somebody else out. This could lead to future opportunities for you to work together, or it could just establish you as the person to go to for information in your area, whether or not it's coming directly from you. So I love shouting people out, but this is something you should do sparingly, and it's probably a helpful idea to know the person first, just so nobody gets mad that you're trying to leverage off of their content. But it's still okay to make friends this way and to shout out really good content as long as your caption, the comments that you're putting there, are relevant and direct people to that person. So if you are representing someone who you are not connected to in any way, shape, or form, make sure you're very, very clear on saying, I loved this video by this person. Tag them in it if possible, and shout them out. Tell them this was my big takeaway from this and I thought it could benefit you as well, so I wanted to make sure that you got value out of this video too. If you didn't see it, here it is. Make sure you check it out on my recommendation. And so you're making sure that all eyes are on that other person. You're not trying to build yourself up off of that person. You're not trying to leverage their content. You are just being a nice, kind, lovely person who is sharing content that you think is valuable and helping to build up that other person, which again could lead to some really cool collaborations. So sharing other people's content should be done sparingly, but definitely if you find something that is going to be relevant to your audience, go ahead and share away. Or if it's somebody you frequently collaborate with that you want to be shouting out, go ahead and do that right now inside of your community tab to get the conversation going, and you can even ask relevant questions to start a discussion there. And if your audience responds well to this video or this particular post, you can reach out to the person who created that video and have them on your channel for a live stream Q&A or a pre-recorded Q&A, so that you can talk to people who are already aware of this person and what they're teaching, and it benefits not only your channel, but that person as well. Now, because the community tab allows you to put videos in, you can actually shout out your own video. Some people do this as they are posting. So once your video goes live, they immediately post in the community tab. For me personally, I usually like to wait a little bit. I like to let the algorithm do what it does and kick it out to the people who should see it first and suggest it to the people who need to be checking it out. After a few hours or a few days, I will then shout out that video. So I always like to give it a little bit of time to see how the system works itself before I give it that little bit of kick. I let it live its life on the platform, and then I give it that little extra boost by shouting it out again for people who might have missed it. But this is a great opportunity either way, if you want to do it right away to get that extra spurt of energy, or if you want to hold off and wait a couple of hours to a couple of days, you have the ability to then kick it out to an audience who might not be present on YouTube at that moment. And this is really cool because as people are scrolling through, especially their phone, they're looking at those community tab posts as they're scrolling, they have the ability to jump in and check out that video. Now, another thing I love to use my community tab for is pro tips of the week. And sometimes these are just small actionable steps that aren't quite big enough for a full-length video, or it's something that complements one of the videos I recently put out. And it's an actionable step that people can take to get a small win inside of their life or their business that week. Now, this is something I implement into my newsletter. So every single week I'm sending out a newsletter and I'm giving action steps so that people can get these small wins or take these small steps inside of their business to level up what they're doing. And I'm doing this over on my community tab as well, so that people have that motivation to do something, or they have one small direction that will make a little tiny difference inside of their daily life or their daily business life, so that they can move forward and do something really cool. So these are pro tips that are just in general, or it has to do with breaking news in the industry, or it has to do with a video that I recently put out, and then I can connect it to that video as well if I want, but it allows me to have that conversation with people. This could even be something like a pro tip I did in my life. It might not have anything to do with what I'm talking about, but if it was something that helped me that week that could help other people, I share that valuable information. So it's a personable context that we are talking about. We're having these conversations with people. We're starting dialogues. We're asking for them to give feedback, to try these things out, all the good things when it comes to pro tips. So I love talking about pro tips in my community tab, but also giving them the opportunity to get involved with this and give suggestions for upcoming pro tips to share as well. And speaking of, we have the ability to show behind the scenes in our community tab. This is a really great way to take people behind the scenes of your business, which is not typically something you're going to be showing in your videos, especially if you're on an educational basis with your content. So most people will not see the work and effort that goes into creating your videos or running your business or doing what it is that you do. So use your community tab as a vehicle for conversation. You can now post multiple photos on your community tab, so you have the ability to post up to a couple of photos, so you can actually show the progression of your day. Almost treat it like an Instagram story. You're going to put it all in one post, but you're going to kind of walk people through your day. You're going to show them the behind the scenes of setting up to film your videos, or of creating the candles that you sell, or of using the planner that you bought from that really cool influencer that you talk about from time to time on your Instagram page. You're using things from your everyday life to show behind the scenes, and bonus points for drawing in other social platforms like Instagram or your TikTok. This is your place to have that community building moment, and you want to show the behind the scenes of your business. So you can be very strategic about this, or you can be very relaxed about this. It can be an Instagram cool, chill, hangout kind of like, here's what I'm doing. I've got my latte here, and I've got my computer, and I'm setting up to work. Or it can be very professional of, this is the process of how I create this, and these are the steps that I take. It's up to you. It is something that you can make short and sweet or a little bit longer. These are okay for long format posts. posts, because this is taking people behind the scenes of your story. So this is a great way to connect on that behind the scenes level that they typically don't get on your YouTube page because they're only seeing those polished videos that you're putting out. So treat this as your opportunity to have those conversations like you do on the other social platforms inside of YouTube now. And of course, because this is a really good place to have those conversations where we don't typically have group conversations on our YouTube videos, we're more so interacting with the content that was part of the video, your community tab is a great place to have discussions. And this is often led by a group question. So I want you to jump into your community tab once a week and ask them a question. It can be business related, it could be life related, it could be connected to the things that you're teaching. It could be something big and broad that everybody can have an input on, or it could be something business specific. You can search for pain points, or you can have celebratory moments. So you can ask anything from what was your little win for today to where are you struggling in your business right now and how can I help? You can get very deep with this, or you can go very broad with this. And again, this is all about conversation and community. So do something that does not polarize your audience. Ask a question that brings everyone together. How do you handle these situations? Do you like this kind of thing? What are you doing today? How is this working for you and how is this going? Ask questions that everybody can bring their experience and their opinions in on that are not going to rile people up. Remember, we're not trying to start a fight here. If that's your shtick, okay, whatever. But for the most part, we're community building. We want people to be coming together. We want our fandom to come together. Our students, our clients should be seeing that other people are struggling just like they are, or are succeeding just like they are. We're bringing in our people and having these conversations. So ask a group question. Again, this can be business related, it can be specifically related to what you're speaking on in your videos, or it can be a life question like, how are you doing today? What are you doing today? Where are you joining me from? Easy answers are going to be good for starting off. So when you're first jumping into this, ask, where are you watching from today? What is your weather like today? How is your day going? And then build upon that so that we get more conversations. They're going to be more willing to post a 1 or 2 word answer at first, but when you condition them, they're going to start leaving you sentences and paragraphs, which is what you're looking for in the ultimate end of this. So start small, ask those little questions, keep it relevant to your business and keep it relevant to life, and then build from there when it comes to creating those questions in your community tab. Keep in mind that your goal with all of this is to start conversation and to build a community within your community tab on YouTube. Some of these people are not following you on social media. They're not interacting with other followers. They're here specifically for you. So your job and your goal here is to get them talking about what they are going through with you. You want to build up that community because they're going to then be much more loyal to you, because not only are you helping them to build up whatever area of your life you're speaking on, but you're also giving them a community of like-minded people that they can surround themselves with and learn and grow with as well. So this is something you can be implementing on the daily inside of your community tab. For me, I sometimes space out my posts a little bit. I will not post in the community tab when I am posting a video, but this is something you could test as well. I know a lot of people post a lot of times a day and that works really well for them. So test this out. See what is going to work the best for you, and bonus pro tip, you can schedule these things so you actually have the ability to sit down, knock out a ton of content, and just schedule it for the next couple of days, and you can test where you're going to be going with this. Now remember, once you're posting inside of your community tab, you need to be monitoring the answers. They don't always send you notifications on this. They do not always send you information on who is responding to you, who's engaging with your polls, who is liking and who is commenting and all of these things. So go in and manually check these, especially the recent things that you posted, to make sure you're engaging with them. We're starting conversation, we're facilitating community, which means we actually have to be there and part of that community. So make sure you're responding to everyone as much as possible and grow what you're doing inside of your community tab, which will then translate into more and more people gravitating towards you and watching more of your videos and leaving more comments in your videos, because you're now training them to talk to you on your YouTube page. So your community tab is a great way to build this up, and if you've got access, let me know down below which of these 7 was your absolute favorite, and do you want more ideas for things to post on your YouTube page, because I got tons of ideas. I'm happy to share them. Hit that subscribe and notification bell. We're teaching you how to level up your social media to create more profit inside of your business. So we're talking all things YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Clubhouse, and more to help you grow with what you're doing in your social platforms and build your brand.